Hey guys, this is Sabrina. I did my media share project on State Farm. This is one of their more popular and most recent ads. I'm sure you've seen it before, but here's just a little refresher for you.
Hello, beautiful. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Hi, Anthony. How much did my discount double check save me?
About 150.
Done.
I don't have State Farm, but insurance, find me money.
I got you $1. Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you with unexpected savings. That's getting to a better state.
So there's that commercial. Like I said, I'm sure you've seen it on any sort of TV in the last year or so. Some adjectives that I would use to describe it would be creative, silly, comical, odd, and catchy. In the commercial, both genders were represented. The men did the savings while the women were shopping. Some emotions that were used in the commercial would be excited, frustrated. There was a little jealousy that the one woman could get the purse and the other couldn't. There was happiness because, she got to make the purchase of the purse. The four main characters in the commercial were dressed their part, and this took place in a little boutique. Some audio observations that I found. The product was not actually present because it's an insurance company, so it's kind of hard to show their auto, their life, and their health insurance. But the product name and the jingle were both used 3 times. Whether the jingle kind of had mixed up words or something, it was still there and you kind of got the point. Gasps and changes in voice showed a lot of emotion, especially at the beginning. It kind of got your attention. Some sound effects that were used when the insurance representatives came into the scene, they had their own little bling bling. And it just kind of showed that, someone else was coming into the scene. Different voices were also representative, the different points of view throughout the commercial. Some camera shots and lighting points. Most of them were wide shots, I think because they wanted to get a lot of the body language rather than just the hand gestures. And, when people talk with their hands, it gets kind of crowded. When the girl reached for the dollar bill that the other insurance representative was holding out, you could see she had a clenched fist because she was frustrated. I thought it was interesting that in every camera shot there was the color red, and red is the color that the State Farm company associates themselves with. I think that both artificial and natural light were used because you could tell that there were some shadows on the faces, but there were no shadows on the ground while people were walking around the store. Some of the texts towards the end of the commercial, the other insurance was brought up, and it was very hard to read because it was on top of the commercial that was still playing in the background. But when they started talking specifically about the State Farm, it was red and white and had their own screen, and it was very easy to read. So that's kind of what you left the commercial thinking about. The purpose of the advertisement, well, it's always to get the audience to purchase the product that they're being advertised. So in this case, it would be the insurance. I think the target audience is late teens, early 20s. I think it's this because I'm kind of in that age and I'm starting to think after my parents kicked me off of their insurance, what the heck am I going to do now? So kind of in the back of my mind, I have that thing like, if I have State Farm, I'll save money on my insurance that I could spend elsewhere. And who would complain about something like that? I sure wouldn't. I don't think there are any assumptions made about specific race or class, but the 2 women doing the shopping and the 2 men doing the savings kind of play into the, stereotypical women have less self-control when it comes to shopping. I'm not saying that's true or false, but I definitely think that State Farm did a pretty good job of playing into that and kind of getting us to realize that, you can save a little bit to spend a little more. Some possible consequences. Maybe someone can think, well, if I have State Farm, I will be saving money for sure, and that's not always the case. Especially when they put a price on the discount double check. She saved about $150. So people could kind of going into that assuming, oh, I'll be saving, triple digits every month or something like that. This does not undermine any social changes. It doesn't have any social responsibilities, but like any company, there are lawsuits. I did look into a few of them, but there weren't many that stood out and were real big red flags. Some personal impressions, I think it's realistic going into a store kind of thinking something's a little out of your price range and thinking, oh, I saved on that last bill, like I can get this, and then kind of like, oh, thank goodness I have State Farm to help me out there. I think it's really catchy. State Farm does a great job with all of their advertisements, like, Jake State Farm and those type of things, and the khaki pants and everything just kind of gets used in everyday conversations. I think that it has a potential to be very effective, especially with people around, 18 to 20, 25, somewhere in that area. So my questions: about how much money did the woman with State Farm save? My answers, A is $50, B is $100, C is $150, and D is $200. The answer is C, $150. My last one is, what is the slogan that the woman says to make the State Farm representative appear? A, you gotta be quicker than that. B, I don't have State Farm, but insurance find me money. C, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Or D, oh, you almost had it. The answer is C. Thank you, and I'll see you guys online.